Do you worry at all about losing your job?
Arch Manning is 2 packs of ass. But Texas is even worse as a whole. But we're going to get into that. Now, I want to point out some things. Texas sadly beat Kentucky 16-13 in overtime. We're going to watch a few interviews from both Sark as well as Mr. Arch Manning. But first, we're going to look at some stats. So remember, there was 179 yards of total offense. This was the fewest amount of offense in the entire era of Kevin Stefanski being here. Yes, that means when Hudson Card was throwing footballs, you don't even know who Hudson Card is, do you? When he was throwing footballs, they still amassed more yards than this. Arch Manning, 44% completion percentage, right? 1.7 yards per carry on the ground for an offense. Now, this is what the stats look like going into this week against Mississippi State, right? You've got against Ohio State, 30 attempts, 17 for 30, 56%, 170 yards, a touchdown interception. 295 against, again, San Jose State, still throws an interception. UTEP, 1 touchdown, only 114 yards, 4.6 yards in the attempt, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. UTEP, San Jose State, he gets the flex on them boys, throws 309. Against Florida in an embarrassing loss, 2 touchdowns. Billy Napier got fired. Jesus. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not the best. 55% completion percentage. 77%. Now, Red River, I told you, Red River games don't count. Everybody plays different. Go look in the history of Red River games. It does not matter the record of any team. It's gonna be a crazy game. And then, obviously, Kentucky against one of the worst defenses, not only in the SEC, but one of the worst defenses in the league. 8 for 20. 40% completion percentage. 101 yards, guys. 101. This was the preseason Heisman, yo. Texas was everybody's favorite to win the national championship. And now here they are sweating out wins against Kentucky. So how do we feel about it, Arch?
Part of it's just pretty annoying. I mean, the guy was wide open, and I missed him. But, you know, I'm going to get those throws, and I'm going to get better. And I told Jack we're going to get it again, and I'm going to hit you and go score. I mean, a little right after, you're like, damn, what the hell was that? But you got to move on. You got to flush it one play at a time.
What's your play?
Obviously, we want to play better on offense all around. Myself would be the first to say that. But really proud of the way we played as a team. Special teams, Jack and Mason and Ryan were incredible. And then our defense, if you look at it on paper, we probably should have lost in just about every way. But
that's true.
Pull out the win on the road to SEC, not going to take for granted. Very fortunate.
Extremely fortunate. They don't. Again, we didn't deserve that win. It was a tough situation. Now, a lot of people, me, were concerned about Kevin Stefanski's play calling because on 3rd and 3 he called a double reverse pass, and I almost pissed myself when I saw that shit. I really couldn't believe it. I'm living in a nightmare. Like you ever have one of those moments where like you ever have one of those moments where you like, oh my God, I'm alive. I have free will. Like, you know, like one of those weird realization moments, like, well, I'm a real live person. I can do whatever I want. I just had that moment. I was like, man, like we're in the middle of the season. Because you know, at the beginning of the season, I was like, man, I had such high expectations. I'm like, imagine if we were just bad. Nah, that's not gonna happen. Like, I'm living in a world where the offense can't even get 200 yards against Kentucky. Like that's the world of the Texas offense I'm living in, and it is depressing. It's really depressing. But go ahead, Arch. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, utmost faith in him. I mean, that's the reason I came here, just because how smart he is with calling plays, and the most confidence in him, and we're just gonna keep going from here.
Okay. Yeah, man. I don't know if I have the maximum amount of input, but now I will say our defensive leader, Mr. Taft Mookie, is going to be out for 3 weeks. He did break, or he's having an operation done on his finger, so he's going to have some nice things to say. We're going to listen to him right after Arch, and then after we're going to go Arch Taft, and then we're going to go Steve Sarkisian, and then I'll do a little bit of yapping and show you some stats that might actually bode a little better for Arch Manning, what he's been doing.
Do you worry at all about losing your job?
Nah, I control what I can control. I work hard during the week, prepare my best, and that's go out and try my hardest on game day. That's all I can do. I
have to really feel bad for Arch Manning because I'm a big Shador advocate, and advocate is kind of a strong word. I don't think I'm advocate for him, but I'm a big Shador guy, right? I don't think he needs to be advocated for. But one of the bigger reasons why I became a Shador fan is because I was a Deion fan, right? And I'm a Texas fan, so I'm whoever's wearing that jersey, I'm going to be a fan of, right? If they're going to help us win. But it's also cool that it's a Manning, right? I grew up, that was my childhood, watching Eli Manning before he became ass, and watching Peyton Manning before his legs couldn't work. Hey, man, that Super Bowl, that defense carried him to that Super Bowl. But still one of the greatest preseason quarterbacks in the history of NFL, obviously, in Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning over Tom Brady. Argue with a wall. Yeah, boy. Hey, them arguments was crazy. Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. Anyway, we don't have to go there. So, with all that being said, and with my love for the game and people in the elders who have given to the game, who shaped the game that I've watched, right? I would love for Arch Manning to just be this dog. Also, because that means them Longhorns is you feel me too. But there's a selfish reason. There's also just even if he went to Tulane, I would want him to ball out because he's a Manning, right? To see it go so negative, like I want to show, and I'm about to show y'all something that the difference. Like, this is not the same player. Like, that's something I want to really stress to people who maybe didn't watch him versus, last year versus Mississippi State and, UTEPs and UTSA. Like, he wasn't the greatest thing smoking. I didn't, when you say that, it wasn't going to be like, oh my God, he's the greatest ever. But there was a reason why people had him in Heisman talks. It wasn't just because of his name. Now, the name added a lot of gas. I'm not going to lie to you. It added a whole lot of gas. The school he goes to added a whole lot of gas. The offense coordinator he has added a whole lot of gas. But if you watch him, it's this is a dude who has the capability to rush for 1,000 yards and throw for 3,000. Like that at the very minimum, he can do some Tim Tebow, maybe above the world Tim Tebow stuff, throw some more yards and rush for a bunch. Like, he looks like a top tier college quarterback. He's mobile. He's got a great base. He can throw a long ball, right? He gets there with timing. He has some things to work on, right? He threw some picks, and he was a little bit of a gunslinger last year. But that is not this player. This is the player that really, like, he's missing wide open play. Like, he wasn't doing that last year. He didn't seem so uncertain of himself last year. So seeing this and seeing the way that he's had to, after a win against Kentucky, you have to answer questions about whether he's afraid to lose his job. Like for 2 years or 3 years, he's been waiting to live out his dream, and I don't think it could go any worse for him. So at some point, you do feel for him, not just as a Texas fan, but just as someone who enjoys the game of football and hope he does good. Now, a real deal leader, probably had some bright spots and some positive things to say about the whole situation.
These questions seem a little bit negative, I'm not going to lie, guys, to the offense. And I'll say this. It's freaking hard to win in the SEC. Go ask Georgia when they won the national championship what they did against Kentucky last year when they won the SEC championship. What they do against Kentucky last year. It's hard to win the SEC. So we freaking won. Let's put some smiles on our face. We won, and the show goes on, and we're dancing, and at the end of the day, we control our destiny. So we're going to keep on pushing, and we're going to do it with a smile on our face, and there's going to be corrections, and I trust in my guys. I trust in my coaches, and I'm freaking excited. So I want y'all to put some smiles on it.
Now, there was another comment from Colin Simmons, and I don't want to put it in because I want to focus, on Arch, and, we're going to get into it. But he said something similar. He was like, somebody asked him, they said, hey, your head coach, what's it called, Steve Sarkisian, he said, this is a very defensive-minded, defensive special teams is really coming together. And Colin Simmons said, can you say that one more time? And he said, defensive special team. He said, and offense. He said, and offense. He said, no, this is a full team game, right? This is Colin Simmons after having a 3-sack performance, having his best game probably of the year to help us irk out a win. And all he has to say is, oh, no, and the offense. Hey, we're going to uplift. Hey, Michael Tapp. Hey, we're uplifting. So with all this being said, and, I really feel bad for Arch, and I think he's in a bad spot. I don't think there's and this is a testament to Steve Sarkisian, who we're about to, listen to from. He has created a phenomenal culture, right? And cultures last. Teams don't, right? Some teams get injuries. Teams may sputter out. They might not execute. But cultures last. Cultures allow you to reload in college football. And in the NIL transfer portal era, that's one of the hardest things because as Texas, I mean, they can throw around they're throwing around as much money as Ohio State. Everybody, when you get up there, everybody got money. It's kind of funny, and that's when I used to make college football videos, I would always talk about this. I was like, when you get to the high levels, it's not really about money anymore. It funnily enough, it comes back to culture. It comes back to what college football always was. And can you show that next star quarterback that whenever you struggle, like I want y'all to know, this is one of the greatest marketing and recruiting displays for a Texas football program right now, and it's specifically for the next quarterback, right? And if Arch stays, or we have a 5-star in Dia Bell that's supposed to be coming up, right? Who for us to continue to get those top level quarterbacks, they need to have confidence that I can play this bad. We can struggle this much as an offense, and my defense is going to defend me. My coach is going to defend me. Everybody's going to be defending me. That is a culture that is built in. I have to credit Steve Sarkisian as much as I will discredit him in his terrible play calling that he has created. So let's hear it, Steve.
At the end of the day, offensively, I've got to do a better job. Putting all of our players in position to be successful, and that's blocking people, that's throwing the ball to open people, that's running routes precisely where they need to be. So that's on nobody but me, and so that's when you can look in the mirror first and say, okay, I'm responsible to try to get this fixed and get better at it. I'm very comfortable with that. So
hey, he's comfortable. He's taking the head on. I will say, before we get into it. Just want to run some quick stats by you. So, where the Texas offensive line has ranked in pass protection efficiency via PFF in the Sarkisian era. So, starting in 2021, they were the 91st. Obviously, new regime. They're trying to take over. We had a very bad offensive line, right? 2022, 24th. 2023, 3rd. 2024, 13th. And again, 93.2 to 91, 90 to 91.7. That's a pretty tight spread. 2025, we are 125th at 83.8. This is the worst graded the worst efficient pass protection we've had ever. So I hate to give Arch Manning a little bit of credit, but wow. Rating measures pressures allowed on per snap basis with weight towards sacks allowed. Arch Manning has been hit 60 times in 7 games. It took all of 2024 regular season for Quinn Ewers to be hit 60 times. For the Department of Yikes, Texas has failed to score more than 17 points. It sounds like the Browns. Hey, I'm telling you, this is the audition for the Browns. I'm telling y'all, man, Arch Manning is audition for the Browns. Can you survive in a terrible offense, Arch? Oh, we got a Kevin Stefanski waiting for you. From the Department of Yikes, Texas has failed to score more than 17 points on offense in regulation in 7 of the last 9 games against Power 4 defenses going back to the A&M game in 2024. Now, to end this, I do want to show that, again, that Texas is playing Mississippi State this weekend. I think I'm probably going to drop this Friday. I'll be driving, doing whatever. I don't even know if we're going to beat Mississippi State. This is a different Mississippi State team. This Mississippi State team has, This Mississippi State team has people with pulses playing football. So we're going to have to, they got some spunk. They've won some games. They want to get after us. Okay. Now I want to show you what it looked like with that highly graded offensive line. And I said something at the beginning of this video too. And I was like, hey man, he just looks like a different player. So first, let's look at this. One of the best offensive lines. I think the only offensive line better than us was the Miami. And I think Georgia had better offensive lines than us last year. But I mean, we're talking about the toppest tiers of players. We're talking like that. So we elite offensive line, one of the best in the SEC. Look at it. Now they're only sending 3. I do want to say they're only sending 3, but they brought the 4th. But I want you to look at the Kentucky game. There were multiple times where they only sent 3 and they still got people through. So they only send 3. Thank the Lord we pick up all 3, and he's got all day to throw this. Not only that, I want you to watch how he throws, how smooth he throws. He gets to the top of his drop. He's going to hitch. He's going to step up. And he actually steps through. Instead of, if you notice, he does this weird thing where he gets flat-footed and keeps and tries to go all up or whip. I don't know why he does that. But he just looks smoother throwing the football. And now that thing's a duck. But, he throws that thing out there. Beautiful stuff. And they're going to give you another. Is this him going crazy? Oh no, he's just okay. See, he's very calm, very cool, very collected. I think this might be that same play. Yeah, so he's got all day. He can just level up. So there is some positivity to be made, right? There really can be. But remember, you can't do things like this, Archie. We can't miss wide open drags. This is like the 8th time, guy. Like, it would be different if it was like a post or something like that. God, this is a drag. It's a drag to Ryan Wingo that for some reason we miss. Now I want you to watch the way he throws this. Do you see that? You see the difference, right? You see how he tenses his upper body, and I've shown this. Really it's his lower body. Instead of stepping into this throw like he did, get to the top and then letting his full body, he just wants to throw with his upper body. He freezes his lower body. Look at it. He takes this small choppy step. He takes a small choppy step and tries to release it. Look where his foot's pointing. Look where this ball's going. It's just never on. We can't do that. This is, and then here we go on 1st and 10. This is a wide open. He's gonna do the fake go this way, come back this way. Watch his feet again. He chops his feet. He's so quick. Instead of allowing himself to fully, take a step, transfer your weight. He wants to just get to throwing the ball so fast, and you miss a wide open player. So, I would like to say the offensive line is just a problem. I would like to say the Sarkisian play calling is the problem. But Arch Manning needs to be better, or he should be worried about his career. Other than that, it makes no sense at all for Sark to keep his job. But hey, y'all let me know how y'all feel down below. Arch Manning is the definition of overhyped. He was the Heisman winner that they all wanted him to be. He was the 1st-round pick that the Browns needed, and right now there's a lot more questions on this Texas team than answers. So let me know how you feel. Like it down below if you like it, dislike if you don't. Comment, do all that fun stuff. Be great. See you next time.